Hello, everyone, and welcome to our last Community Wellness Challenge webinar. Today, we're really excited to feature Chef Tony from Mayo Clinic Health System, Morrison Healthcare. He's our manager and head chef, and his sidekick today is Mary Rinda. Many of you from the New Prague area know Mary. Give us a wave, Mary. Mary's going to step off camera just so that we can always maintain our 6 feet of distance. So just a couple introductions before we get started. As always, the Q&A feature is at the bottom of your screen. That's where we ask you to go to submit questions, and we will keep an eye on that. And we'll do that at the end. Chef Tony is about to share with you his recipe. And I hope nobody turned their noses up to some of these ingredients because I personally love Brussels sprouts, right, Tony? And here,
yeah, absolutely.
Without further ado, I introduce Chef Tony.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to beautiful Cafe 301 at Mayo Hospital in New Prague, Minnesota. Today, I'm very happy to share with everyone my recipe, which is Brussels sprouts with a Dijon vinaigrette. You might, doesn't sound good, but believe me, it's a great recipe. What you want to start out with is you want to start out with 1.5 pounds of Brussels sprouts. When you have your Brussels sprouts, what you need to do is you're going to need to shave them thin. A couple of different ways to do it. I used a food processor today, and these came out really nice, really tender, and really thin. If you don't have a food processor, what I would recommend doing is taking your Brussels sprout, cutting off the end, cut it in half, take out the core. You're gonna have to take out the core regardless, and then cut it in half again, and cut it in half again. It's a little more tedious, but you know what? If you got nothing to do, you can watch TV and do that at the same time. That works out real well. Like I say, not quite as fast as using your food processor, but works tremendous.
So you take out the core either way?
Correct, because that core is going to be hard. Kind of, the Brussels sprout is part of the cabbage family. Okay. So it's just like a smaller cabbage. When you cut into a cabbage, you have that core there at the end that you need to take out.
Never knew that.
And the same thing there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work on the dressing. Pretty easy dressing. I've got a cup here of Parmesan, grated Parmesan cheese, just to put that in there. And then we have the juice of 2 lemons. So just take and juice your lemon. The nice thing about the salad, and what I like, is it should be prepared ahead. So you can prepare it up to maybe 2 hours ahead, and that way you can kind of enjoy your company when they come. Glass of wine, however, but not when you're cooking.
No, not around sharp objects.
Exactly. I won't show you what happened to me this morning.
Yeah.
But I told Mary, just be ready just in case, and she was. So we got our 2 lemons juiced here. And then we have French's Dijon mustard, and this is going to have the white wine in it. This is what's going to help bring out a little more of the acid. So what we're going to do, excuse me, is we're going to use 1 cup of the Dijon mustard. You might think that's a lot, but remember that Brussels sprout is pretty coarse, so it's going to take a while for everything to absorb in there.
Tony, did you tell us how much Brussels sprouts, how many?
Yep, 1.5 pounds. And 1.5 pounds will feed, it does 4 servings,
Okay.
and it's only 170 calories per serving.
So that'll be good to eat after the mashed potatoes and gravy.
Absolutely, or even with. And then what you want to do, a little trick here, is you can do this in a food processor as well as in a mixer, but if you don't, just take your bowl and set it on a towel, because what we're going to do is emulsify. I know it's a big word, right? But we're going to make all this work together. So you put about 2 cups of olive oil in there. And what we want to do is mix that up real well. Salt and pepper to taste. So if you like salt, a little bit more salt in there, you can go ahead and add that to it. And then it's not going to be a real wet dressing because, again, it's going to be a little bit, it's not going to be like your ranch dressing where it goes all over the place.
You said you can make it a couple hours a day, not a day.
I would do it in the morning, and then if you're going to have dinner or have it for lunch, it should be about ready.
Okay.
Then we'll take our dressing. Goes right in there.
I feel like Al Walker on the Today Show. Do I get to taste this after it's
Yes,
done?
yes. And you just want to mix it up real well. Something to give it a little more holiday color, holiday cheer, and again, a different taste sensation is you have the dried cranberries. And I would put it in a whole package, and this is 6 ounces, so it's not that much. And then just make sure it's all mixed in there together.
Hey, Tony, we have a live question for you.
Yes, go ahead.
We got a question from Janet asking, what can a person use in place of mustard when you have a mustard allergy? Any suggestions?
Yeah, you could use mayonnaise. Mayonnaise would be good in there. Balsamic vinegar would also work in place. And then, as you can see, it's getting some nice color from the craisins there. And then it's going to add that sweetness to it, which is going to counterbalance all that tartness we have in there. And then some toasted almonds. You can do these up ahead of time because you know what? Who doesn't like a little crunch? And again, this is about a ½ cup. And then we'll just give that a quick toss.
So Tony, Brussels sprouts, so it'll end up like the consistency more of maybe the full salad.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. That's where the food processor helps out a lot because it almost looks like a cabbage coleslaw right now.
Okay.
But it's giving you the nutrients of the Brussels sprouts. Who doesn't like this? Come on, it's bacon. Yeah. Let's take a little bit of bacon, crumble that on top. Yeah. You know, it's not the holidays without bacon. And this is about 6 strips of bacon. And when I said this has 170 calories, that includes the bacon as well. So there it is. Brussels sprout with a Dijon vinaigrette salad. And let's see.
Okay, Tony, we're going to go to some live questions. You keep talking if you have something else to chime in. Okay, so I will share that I'm not the best cook or baker or anything in the kitchen. Clearly, I'm not good on technology either. None of you know, but we spent about an hour and 45 minutes prepping for today's show. But we got it running.
That's because you had to make me look good.
That's right. Tony, you always look good. You always look great in your chef's hat. So a couple more questions are coming through.
Sure.
One question, for those of us that maybe aren't as strong in the kitchen, can you give us a little direction on toasting the almonds? How long does that take? Is that on just like a cookie sheet? Did you put anything on them?
No, you don't want to put anything on them because the almonds have natural oils in them. If you put something on them, it's not going to toast as much. It's just going to end up soggy. What you want to do is you want to start out on a low heat and then just give it time because once they start to go, bang, they're going to burn on you and you're going to know it right away. So just put it on a low simmer, if you will, on a gas stove, or you can do it in your oven at 350 degrees, I'd say for about 8 to 10 minutes, and that should be good to go. And you're going to want, not only does it give you that crunch to it, it also gives you that nutty taste. So again, another taste profile that you're working with.
Sounds good. A couple more questions. Sue has sent in, I've seen shaved Brussels sprouts in the produce section. Would those work?
Absolutely. Any shortcuts you can take, the better off you are. I just like using the whole ones better because then I have control on how they're cut.
That sounds good.
So sometimes it's better to do something yourself.
No, people like me, we want shortcuts, easy.
I was just gonna say, how long does this take to make? About prep time?
Prep time, everything, maybe 20 minutes at the most. But if you're cutting the Brussels sprouts by hand, I would add another 15 minutes to that. And if that's the case, then I would go with the already pre-cut Brussels sprouts from the store. Again, shortcuts are great in the kitchen.
Okay,
I
another
think we're going to
question.
have Mary taste this here while we're waiting.
Okay, I'm gonna just scoop and then strategically place myself 6 feet away so that I can take my mask off. Great. Okay.
Tony, what else would you suggest? I think Amy is asking, what else would you put in the mustard? What else would you put in the mayo if you can't use mustard to kind of spice it up a little bit? You said balsamic vinegar, I think, earlier. Anything else?
Yep, I would use a little more lemon juice as well, because that's going to give it, because what you're looking for with the Dijon, what the Dijon's going to do, it's going to give it that tartness. Or you know what, if you got some white wine at home that you don't want to drink anymore, ha ha ha, but maybe a couple tablespoons of white wine in with the mayo, and that's going to give you the same thing as the mustard does with the white wine. So that's what I would do, but make sure that you don't get it too thin, because then it's going to create thinness in your dressing. And the reason this dressing is thick to start with, as it sits, your Brussels sprouts are going to weep, and that's going to get watery on you.
Very good.
I'm going to pull that.
And you could taste the Dijon, but it wasn't overwhelming. So no, it was really good. Way to go, Tony.
Thank you.
Weep.
And it's a great recipe for a holiday meal if you're going somewhere or having people over, or just for your family. It's kind of a neat way to introduce Brussels sprouts. In the past, didn't say it was Brussels sprouts. I wouldn't tell them it is unless they're allergic to it. What do you think? And, they may all of a sudden like Brussels sprouts.
Sounds good. Tony, I'm going to pull out that word weep when I'm working with my mother, who's a gourmet cook. She's not even going to realize I know what that word means now as it pertains to
there
cooking.
You go.
Okay, one more
Perfect.
thing. I think there's a few folks watching that are actually on our Mayo campus here in New Prague that are dying for a sampling. So I'm going to say yes to those that are down here if you want to stop down to the kitchen. If there's any left. Sounds good. Well, Tony, I'm going to cut us off now. I want to thank you and Mary, your sidekick, for helping us out today. And just so you all know, the Brussels sprout salad with the Dijon dressing recipe was actually in your weekly tidbits. We will send it out again with the link just in case you've misplaced that. And the link should be coming out either today at the latest Thursday. And with that, I want to thank Chef Tony again from Morrison Healthcare. He's our head chef down here at Mayo Clinic Health System New Prague, and Mary Rinda, the new Al Roker stand-in for our own little live show here. Thanks to everybody. Good luck with the rest of the Community Wellness Challenge, and we look forward to getting your scores. Thanks, everyone.